I think it's time to move into a call.
Yeah.
Who would you like to talk to?
Well, Ed's been waiting for a while.
Sure. Ed in Pennsylvania. You're live with Eric and V. How are you doing?
Hey, pretty good. How are you guys?
Doing well. Doing well. What did you want to talk about today?
Well, I grew up around, a Christian culture. And then, unfortunately, when I was 19 years old, I successfully defended myself and unfortunately killed the guy that was trying to attack me, and I went to prison.
Okay.
While I was in prison, I kind of gave up my beliefs in Christianity and everything like that. And I was approached by a couple of guys that belonged to a group called the World Church of the Creator.
The World Church of the Creator? I haven't heard about that. What's the World Church of the Creator?
Well, it's a religion called creativity. It was founded by Ben Klassen.
Okay. That sounds
They are
interesting.
A white supremacy group.
Not so interesting.
Not so interesting anymore. Okay.
Yeah, not really. I mean, they have some wild beliefs.
Yeah.
At the time, I mean, I was young. I was in prison. I was gullible, trying to just find where I fit in.
Yeah.
So they got me. They conned me. I mean,
you got brought into
the only way I can put it.
You got brought into a white supremacist group?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd you find your way out?
Basically, the more that I started to educate myself and look into things, the more I realized their ideas weren't any better than any other religion. They cherry pick their ideas about science and history and everything else, and they make it sound good, especially if you're young and you're not really checking things out for yourself.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty dangerous, let me tell you.
They took the word creativity. That's interesting. So were you a creative? Creator?
Well, what they believe, in their belief, the white man created pretty much everything except evolution, and the universe.
In the universe.
Okay.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, as far as like any kind of society or anything like that, all that comes from the white man, and everybody else stole it from them.
Wow, man. That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
So
also very historically dubious.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking, okay.
Wow. I mean, we're glad you made it out. How long's it been?
Yeah. It took a while. I'll tell you. When I finally did get released, I spent 12 and a half years in prison. Mm-hmm. And when I finally did get released and I got back into society and normal people and really started to look at things, I'm like, man, this isn't who I am. Mm-hmm. Like I don't want to be this person.
Yeah.
There's just too much more to life. And like I said, I started doing my own education and research and everything else. And I'm like, wait a minute, none of this makes any sense. Mm-hmm. These guys are just taking little bits and pieces and, cherry picking, like I said.
Absolutely.
So, I decided, that this isn't for me. Like, I'm not this hateful person. And even when I was in this organization, I was still talking to, other black guys and Spanish guys and things like that. And they would call me out on it every now and then. Like, what are you doing? Why are you talking to the enemy? And I'm like, come on, man. Like, I'm having a conversation with somebody. Like, it's not even any of your business.
Yeah.
But they are that hardcore. Like, they are seriously dangerous.
Wow.
And
I mean, I'm glad you want to bring awareness to it. I think it's, I my personal take on it is honestly how we need to interact with you. And I think it's important to share because, Ed, have you heard of Megan Phelps Roper?
Yes.
Okay. For those who haven't looked up or seen Megan Phelps Roper, she's the daughter of the late Fred Phelps. Fred Phelps of the, what was that church called? Westboro Baptist Church.
Yeah.
And it's totally extreme, and you can find pictures of Megan Phelps Roper holding the God hates fags, and thank God for dead soldiers signs. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is so many of us who've grown up in religion, who are indoctrinated and really haven't pieced their way through it, you find yourself parroting a lot of these lines. And when you find your way out, there needs to be a place for you.
Yeah.
It's interesting that I see too many times in this community people closing the door on each other before giving them the opportunity to actually learn and grow and discover. And that doesn't mean you need to be open to hateful people. What it means is be charitable. Be charitable. And I'm glad you made it out. But if you were to call as somebody who was still in it, talked about it, and then reasoned your way out and came out and said, hey, that was a really fucked up thing. That just makes you like everybody else. It doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you someone who learned. And I think that's...
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I think that's a really important lesson. I think it's important to why we took this call. We usually don't take, people who call with their story. We usually have people call in with a question or something that we can chime in on and have a back and forth. But this one in particular is...
There is something else I wanted to say, if I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
I completely understand anybody who still feels a little leery about trusting me. I get it.
Yeah.
And I guess if you do run into somebody like me, give them a chance. At least hear them out. Because, like I said, I'm not that person anymore. I have all kinds of different friends. I'm so proud to call myself a humanist / atheist. And I'm kind of like stuck in a weird spot right now.
Oh.
And I did put something on the Atheist Experience Facebook post about it.
What's that?
I have a lot of, atheist friends, and, some of them aren't even atheists. Some of them are still theists. But I have a lot of different friends. But now I have so many more enemies because these people want to see me dead, like for real.
Yeah, we feel you, man. Doing this show definitely doesn't it doesn't shelter us from getting we get a lot of those messages. But again, if you do hear somebody with a similar story to mine, they got out of this racist organization or whatever, give them a chance. At least hear them out. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't trust somebody like me when I first meet them. Trust takes time. So I get it. I'm not expecting everybody to be like, oh, yeah, good job. We love you. Yeah,
you don't know me.
Yeah, and you could be fucked up in a million other ways. It's just healthy skepticism. But I'm glad that you decided to call in, because it's important that we recognize that so many of us came from a place of ignorance or a place of not having gotten a lot of the facts to make an educated decision. And when given the facts, you're given the opportunity to change, to care about other human beings, to grow as a person.
But not just that, like you said, I want to try and bring light to organizations like this that people don't really know they're out there. Because, like I said, this is really a dangerous group, and I've actually contacted a couple of different people about getting them on a watch list, and apparently I made that happen. So
awesome, man! Have you reached out to the Southern Poverty Law Center?
Them, and I actually went to my local congressman and told him they should be on a terrorist watch list. And of course, I got some pretty nasty responses over that. Oh, if we ever see you again, and whatever.
But keep safe, man, and thank you for calling in. We appreciate it.
All right. Hey, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Will do. I totally missed Nathan Phelps. I couldn't remember the first name, and so I went with his sister. But there's also another Phelps child who is a speaker, Nathan Phelps. If either of them wanted to come and guest on Talk Heathen, we'd love to have them.
For sure.
If you know them, if you are a person who knows either of them, tell them we want them on Talk Heathen. Get them out here because they've got some amazing stories to tell.
They really do. Also, I just want to, I don't know, the concept of having to accept that somebody has done a 180 in a day is a very dangerous thing that a lot of, at least the version of Christianity I grew up in, propagated. Like, you say the magic words, you say the sinner's prayer, and all of a sudden you're a believer. You're a believer, you're saved, all your sins are forgiven, Jesus is changing you. And it has to be this like 180 situation where like you were going to hell today and then you're going to heaven tomorrow. So I think that it's important to kind of take what Ed said and understand that it takes time to become a better person, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of research and a lot of rebuilding trust that you have, given up. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, and I agree, and I think what trips a lot of people up is you need to take your ego and put it to the side. Or it gets stomped out, and sometimes it takes that ego death to move on. And definitely.